Hello, Donaldo.
Hi, Lizeth. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us on the Discover Your Power channel. We are
You're
so excited to have you.
you're very welcome. I'm excited to be here. I really, really am.
Yes, this is awesome. So, today we're going to be talking about discovering your power for Pride Month.
Okay.
So, I know who you are very, very well, and I'd like for you to introduce yourself to our audience. So, just tell us your name and who you are.
Okay. My name is Donaldo. I am a makeup artist by trade. What I do every day, all day. I'm also into fitness, and I'm also into. I wouldn't say I'm a motivational speaker. I consider myself more so an encourager, if anything else.
Ooh, I like that. What do you like to encourage people about?
Oh gosh, anything going on in their life. I'm also working on a book right now. My book, actually, my own book on inspirational quotes that I've came across over the years, as well as I'm incorporating the photos that I've taken of my travels around the world. So I'm incorporating my two loves in that regard together, and just a book that's going to help people out. Definitely.
I love that. I think you are absolutely amazing. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that everyone's getting a chance to see how amazing you are.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right. So, since we are talking about Pride Month, I'm hoping that you can enlighten us because I feel like even myself, all of us have an opportunity to learn more about the LGBTQ community. So, can you tell us about your community and why it's so special?
Yeah, because Pride is not so much the celebration of the LGBTQ community and just being prideful of your sexuality. It's more so showing your pride of love and showing your pride of being accepted and being equal to what society considers to be equal or normal, so to speak, you know?
Right.
So I
And
think
what
that
is normal, really?
exactly what is normal, really. Exactly. Because even if you're heterosexual, you could have a mixed family, or co-raising, co-parenting a child, and that's not your quote unquote normal family. However, it's accepted,
Right.
because it's man, woman, but those of us who are, say, if I'm co-parenting with my partner, you know, and it's looked upon by some and it's shunned upon by others. So it's just basically finding that equal ground. We're not looking for acceptance of our sexuality. We're looking
Hmm.
more so for the acceptance of our normal everyday life.
Right.
So I think Pride Month is more so incorporating that into the facet as well.
I'm glad that you said that because, I chose to highlight people that I think are awesome in the LGBTQ community in order to allow you guys to have a platform to tell us why Pride Month is so important. And I love what you said because it is about bringing everybody together, and it's not necessarily about what exclusion. It's about including everybody. So
Exactly.
thank you for sharing that. Can you enlighten us on what LGBTQ stands for?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and non-gender conforming. And so that's what it stands for. It's basically taking all facets of your sexuality, because there's different facets of sexuality,
Hmm.
whether no matter who you are. So it's just bringing a light, so to speak, on
Yeah.
each one and trying to incorporate each facet of that.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I can say that I've really had to look into certain things about the LGBTQ community that I was unaware of.
Mhm.
So when you say that and when you explain it to me, how do you feel about me asking these kind of questions of what does LGBTQ stand for, or what does Pride Month stand for? Is how do you feel about me asking those questions?
I love questions. That's how you learn. We as people need to ask questions, and become educated in whatever facet of life we're looking into. So I don't take offense to that at all. I actually love that, because it's more so you're coming from a standpoint of wanting, inquiring, wanting to know,
Yes,
versus, oh, I'm damning you or shunning you for what you are, you know?
absolutely.
Exactly.
wanting
Exactly.
to know. I really want to know, and I ask these questions so other people can know too, if they
Exactly.
were maybe too timid to ask that question before or really didn't understand.
Right.
So I appreciate you sharing that. I can only assume how many challenges that you've had to overcome and that you've gone through. And one huge challenge that I've seen people in the LGBTQ community go through was right here, it literally in my backyard in Orlando.
Oh.
I live down the street from Pulse
Oh wow.
in Orlando, Florida. And, Orlando took a really hard hit, or the people in the LGBT community took a hard hit, but I feel like our community here in Orlando, Florida, really were impacted by that.
Mm.
And I want to ask you, when was a time where you felt like you had to discover your power and overcome obstacles being part of the LGBTQ community?
Oh wow. There's so many facets to that question in regards to when did I have to overcome it.
Mhm.
Um, from every aspect of my life, if we start back into being that adolescent child, you know, knowing I was different, but not knowing how to express myself because I didn't know why I felt this way and if everybody else did. So it's those questions of being an adolescent. Oh, do you have a girlfriend? From the adults. Oh,
Yeah.
how many girlfriends do you have? You know, those questions. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't like girls. So
Wow.
how do I answer that? So
At
my thing
such an early
at
age,
such
you
an
knew.
early age. Exactly. So, and I'm talking about 9, 10 years old here. You know, so at that time it's like, oh, I don't have a girlfriend, or oh, I have five. Just making up a number so that the questions will stop.
Wow.
You know, and then move on into high school of quote unquote coming out. You know, and with your parents. You know, and like, oh my God, how would they feel? Are they going to look at me different? Are they going to stop loving me? You know, as a teenager in that era where you're trying to figure out who you are, yet alone trying to figure out how someone else is going to feel about you. That's
Right.
so close to you. You know, that's your provider. You know, so dealing with that, and then as an adult even dealing with other heterosexual men. You know, it's like, okay, they if I tell them that, are they going to think that I want them sexually? No, I don't
Right.
want you sexually because
Wow.
you're just like they have options of who they're attracted to. I too have options of who I'm attracted to. You know, and it becomes a very much so intimidation factor on their end. You know, and a factor on my end of once again acceptance.
Right.
You know, so it's always a challenge, so to speak, of trying to prove yourself of, oh, am I worthy enough, or is this person going to like me? But then you get to a point in your life when you start loving yourself and being
Yes.
being in love with yourself, you know, and you're like, okay, you're going to love me 100%, and this is who I am, and if you don't, that's fine. I still love you, but I'm learning to distance myself from you because I'm not going to be a victim of your hate or your bashing or whatever, or your uncomfortability in front of me. You know, so I think that's when those challenges became easier.
Hmm.
From my standpoint, that's where it became easier when I fell in love with myself. You know,
Self-love and
exactly,
acceptance. You brought up acceptance, and I think that acceptance, it's twofold, because not only are you looking for acceptance from society or from these individuals that you are revealing yourself to, right? You're
hmm,
revealing your authentic self, who you are on the inside. But in order for you to be able to do that, I feel like you had to accept yourself.
exactly.
And
I had
that's where
to
that self-love comes in.
Exactly. I had to accept myself authentically.
Yeah.
And that's where it came in, where these challenges were no longer challenges. You know, they were more so conversations pieces. They were more so educating. They were more so disconnecting
Mm.
from the negative that was surrounding me. You know, and with that came happiness, true happiness.
Would you feel like other people in the LGBTQ community have gone through similar experiences as you?
Of course, I think that we've all gone through similar experiences, some more dramatic than others. You know, in growing up, I've never shared certain things that happened within me with my own family. And it was hurtful at the time. And if I was to be, and I'm just going to be clear about it, you know, when my parents found out that that I was homosexual, my mother cried. You know, my dad kicked me out. So there was a lot of that we all
Yeah.
go through. You know, I was bullied in high school, so I played sports and tried to become the best I could be at sports to alleviate that bullying. Okay, if I become great at this, they're going to look at me for this and not look at my sexuality. So it made me great as a person because it showed me that I too can be great. But at the same time, I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. I wasn't doing
Right.
it for me. I was doing it for them,
Right.
you know? So I'm sure that we've all have our story, whether you're gay, straight, or what have you, we all have our story, but it's more so what power that you take from that story to make yourself greater.
Yes, and that's what discovering your power is all about. You were even, can you tell us about how it was being in the military and being a homosexual?
Yeah, I was in the U.S. Air Force, and with that, when I was in there, it was a don't ask, don't tell rule. So it was more so, just like it says, don't ask me, and I won't tell. And it's, once again, hiding behind this shield of your sexuality, but yet I'm good enough to defend the country,
Right.
but I'm not good enough to be who I am. And that caused a battle. That in itself was a battle within myself. And that was one of the reasons that triggered me to leave the military. That was one of the reasons for me not to fall in love with my career at the time, because
Wow.
I couldn't be my authentic self, you know? And here I am at war, which I got sent to war, and here I am, and I still can't be who I am. So once again, I'm being put into a situation or a position of being trying to be accepted by somebody else, but
By
yet they're not.
somebody else, a whole country
A
that you're
whole country
defending
that I'm
and
defending,
representing.
exactly, that's not defending me as who I am through my sexuality, because you want to put me in this corner and tell me just sit there and do as
Right.
I say, not as I do.
And don't ask, don't tell, basically don't talk about who
My
you
sexual,
are
who I
authentic.
am,
Right.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And can I say I am so proud to know that you have served our country
Oh, thank you.
regardless of don't ask, don't tell, which was in place years ago.
Right.
And since then, you brought up how you weren't in love with your career and what you did for a living, which we've talked about this several times
Mm-hmm.
of how we have both been able to discover our power and live authentically and
Yes.
step into a career that we do love. So,
Right.
can you tell us what career that you are doing now, all the awesome things, and I think it's important for you to be able to share that because I know that there's a huge difference now from what you're doing now versus what you did before.
Oh, definitely. Right now, I am the manager of Woo Skincare and Cosmetics here in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is the number one luxurious boutique in Atlanta. I have to applaud myself and my team for that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, definitely. Besides that, I work with music companies. I used to work with Atlantic Records as their makeup artist. Um, Video shoots, magazines. Oh my gosh, the top modeling agencies. I'm just
Magazine covers also.
magazine covers,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm truly just living my best life that I know how, even though there's more goals. Oh, definitely more goals. But at the same time, I am in a space now where I'm truly able to fuel my creative juices and see that I'm instilling words of encouragement into the models, because when I'm doing their makeup, whether it's a model or whether it's your socialite or your 9 to 5, your, as they say in America, your basic women, you know, I encourage them as they're in my chair. They spew at me, tell me they're going through a divorce, they're going through a separation,
Yeah.
their significant other cheated on them, their sexuality. How do I deal with that? So that's my stage. When you're in my chair, that's my stage because I then become your therapist. You
Right.
know, exactly.
And
And
they're not seeing you as a homosexual makeup artist. You are a makeup artist.
artists, yes, I'm taking what you have and showing you your true beauty on the outside, but at the same time, I'm fueling your inner beauty by letting you know you are that beautiful woman. Don't let anyone tell you any different, or if it's a male, you are that strong man, you know. Don't let anyone take away from what you have in you. Go for what you need to go for,
I love it.
so I'm loving that where I'm able to not only physically touch lives, but I'm able to physically touch spirits,
Yes.
you know?
That's
So,
powerful.
yeah, so I'm loving the position and the gift that was given to me by God. I'm loving that. I truly am.
Well,
Yeah.
and you know what? Let's talk about your talents even more.
Okay.
I would love for you to brag about yourself in this new project that you're working on. So
Okay.
can you tell us about your new reality TV show?
Oh gosh, yes, 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 yes. I'm in a new reality show. It's called Fashionaires of Atlanta. Um, whoop, whoop. You can find it on OWN TV, OAN TV network. Yes, you can find it on that network on YouTube. You can find it on Direct TV as well, on all social media platforms as well. And it's basically taking a look at the fashion world and putting together every portion of fashion, from your makeup artist to your hairstylist to your stylist, designer, and model, putting us all together, trying to work cohesively by bringing more focus and target to the Atlanta market.
Just so everybody knows, I have seen a couple episodes and it is very entertaining. And I think it's really important to highlight your reality TV show now
Thank you.
because of Pride Month,
Yes,
because several different members of the cast are part of the LGBTQ community.
yes, yes. Several members of the cast are part of the community, as well as we have heterosexuals on there. So
Yes,
exactly. So
I
one
love
thing
it.
I love it as well because we're educating each other, you know, and it's just basically your everyday world where a little mixture of everyone is in this one pot trying to make it happen, you know, and sometimes it boils over and sometimes it doesn't, So I love that aspect of it.
So, if we were to look at the LGBTQ community,
Hmm.
what are some misconceptions that you think that people have about people that are LGBTQ?
Um, there are so many misconceptions, but just to name a few, the misconception that we're just sexually promiscuous, the misconceptions of that we cannot be faithful, we cannot raise our own children, the fact that we can be in true relationships, the fact that we're just living in a phase. This is just a phase of our life. The fact that misconceptions of, oh, you can change us.
Right.
Um, exactly. Uh, the list just goes on, but it's more so, this is who I am. You know, just like I can't change the color of my skin, why do I have to change who I am from within of who I was made to be?
Right.
The same way I always redirect that question to when it's asked to me. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to change your sexuality? They're like, no. Okay, so why should I? You
Right.
know, exactly. Are you willing to say that you can't raise a family? They're like, no. Okay, so
No.
why am I not willing to say to raise a family? Because love is love. You know, there is no different definition of love for whether you're black or white or if you're gay or straight. There's no two different definitions of it. There's only one. So with that being said, we're all human. We're all sharing this human experience, while we're here, and through that, and I consider it kind of like a dictatorship. Through your dictatorship of telling me how I'm supposed to live and how I'm supposed to conform, no, I'm not going to live that way. I refuse to live that way, and I will fight until the day I die to stay and remain authentically who I am.
Good for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Thank you.
yes, and I do want to say that I've seen your parenting skills. You are a wonderful father.
Thank
Your
you.
son
Thank you. Yeah, he
just
graduated. He
graduated.
graduated.
Yes. And that is just a testimony of the great father that you are.
Thank
And
you. Thank
being
you.
being a father has nothing to do with being gay or straight, homosexual, lesbian, none of that. It's just like you said, it's about the love and
Exactly.
really acceptance. And when I look at the symbol for the LGBTQ community, seeing the rainbow, it's a great representation of just embracing everybody, different colors, different walks of life. Everyone is different coming together.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. That's why I love the rainbow. But which is a great segue in regards to something that I would love to speak on. In regards to I don't want the rainbow is beautiful, but within that rainbow, you have to go through the storm in order to get to a rainbow. And with that being said, there's still a lot of work to be done within the LGBT community, from the killings of the transgenders, that's going on now, to the bigotry and hatred within our own community from the white gays and the black gays.
Wow.
All of that is still going on, that's brewing underneath. That it's like, you guys, we still need to work together as a team, because how can we want acceptance from society or to be considered equal from society, yet at the same time, there's so much harshness and so much hatred still brewing underneath and festering underneath, you
Yeah.
know? So to me, this is a moment too with Pride Month to bring out the ugly side and let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. It's not all about happiness and running around and doing parades. Yeah, that's beautiful and all. But
Right.
after it's all said and done, let's talk about how I may not date you because you're black, or you may not date me because I'm white, or at the same time, I go to a gay establishment that's predominantly white and I'm shunned upon because I'm looked at, why am I in here? So a lot of that there's a lot of work that still has to be done
Within the community.
within the community, within the global community,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that there is a month where we can be prideful and boast and say, okay, look at us and look what we've done and accomplished. But at the same time, there has to be every day when we look at ourselves as a community and say, what can we do different so that next Pride, we can say we've overcome this or overcome that. So I'm looking towards that as well. Definitely.
Progress.
Exactly. Progress. Definitely.
Thank you so much for saying that.
You're very welcome.
It's every individual is part of different communities, whether it's from your nationality, where you were born, where you're currently living, even your sexuality, whether you're mom or single or whatever it is. And there's so many different divides within different communities, and it's eye-opening to hear that, and it's very realistic, and we do have a lot of work to be done within maybe our central community versus the community that we live in.
Exactly. Exactly. That is so, so true. And, you know, I don't know what happened in my lifetime, but at the same time, as long as I feel like I do my part and be open and free to conversation, then
Yes.
I'm doing my part in doing the change, creating a change. Just like we're doing now, is creating a change. I don't know how many ears my voice will fall upon, but at the same token, it's like it's going to fall upon a number amount of people, where it might change someone's life. But if not, that's fine. But at the same time, at least you're educated, or you see a different insight into it.
Yeah, it's creating that awareness.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
Can you tell me about something wonderful or something that you feel like stands out positively about the LGBTQ community that people may not be aware of?
Oh my gosh, that we're forerunners in a lot of things, from the clothing that you wear, the jewelry that you wear, the makeup that you buy, the shows and movies that you watch. You know, behind those lenses, behind that product, behind this material, there's somebody gay, lesbian, LGBTQ, you know? And it's like we're in so many parts of life, but yet at the same time, we're silenced, you know? Because I find that within the heterosexual community, sometimes it's shunned upon to be gay, but yet you're rocking Dolce and Gabbana, who at the time were partners. They've since split, but they're partners.
Educate.
Exactly. But yet you're online and on Instagram sporting D&G, but you're bashing gays. Pick your battle and get educated, because you're representing a gay person, a gay
I
couple,
think that's
actually.
definitely of just ignorance and a lack of understanding or knowledge that that's
Exactly.
where this amazing brand comes from.
Exactly. And it's like, from your doctors, your lawyers, every facet you can think of, sports industry, professional sports, there are gay athletes, you know, who are scared to come out, but I'm not going to force them out. You know, I know a couple, but I'm not going to force them out. But at
Right.
the same time, they can't come out, because of
Or
that,
feel like they
or
can't, they
feel
feel
like
like
they
they
can't.
can't.
Exactly, because of the stigma or the repercussions or what have you. But it's my whole thing of, you cannot, to me, is always the oppressor. The suppressed is always trying to be the oppressor, you know? So to find somebody beneath them or to belittle somebody else so that their oppression is not as harsh, and instead of that, you need to bring them up, you
Right.
know? Bring that person up, love that person. It doesn't matter.
You have shared so much about yourself and about the LGBTQ community, how you've been able to discover your power, begin living authentically, and it led you to a career that you love and being a great leader over the team at your boutique
Hmm.
and being, a wonderful, renowned, known makeup artist to having your own reality TV show.
Yeah.
So, with throughout all those successes and how you've been able to really live authentically, discover your power, what would you say is something that maybe the most important thing that you've learned about yourself throughout all of this?
Um, Really, it would be more so self-love. It really would be. There was so many years that I never loved myself. I thought I did.
Yeah.
I thought I did. Um, Truly, genuinely falling in love with myself. That to me was the best thing that ever happened to me. Where I stopped looking for acceptance, where I stopped looking for forgiveness, where I stopped looking for the yes. You know, when that moment happened, that's when I truly, truly, truly started living for who I am and where I found happiness. That's
Oh,
when I discovered that my spirituality soared, where my career soared, where my love life soared. All facets of my life where I became a better parent. Everything started just taking off because I was no longer trying to adapt to a stranger walking down the street.
yep.
No, who I don't even know. They have no bearing on my life. But yet I'm changing the way I walk, I'm changing the way I talk because, oh, this stranger might think I'm gay. Or this guy coming down the street might think I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? So once that happened, I was like, okay, now I authentically love myself. I'm in love with myself, and then everything else didn't matter.
I
And
love
that
that.
is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And looking back at your life, I echo what you said. You described it as your life started to soar. And I believe that when we begin to live authentically, when we discover our power to live how we were meant to live and show up in this world, that is when we experience that self-love, that success and
Exactly.
true happiness.
Right.
And when you're in that zone, the zone that you're supposed to be and living authentically, there's no way that anyone can take any of that away from you because it is meant for you.
Exactly. So
That's
true.
powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And now it's just an everyday of making sure that no one takes away that power because it can be taken away. It's fragile. Power is fragile yet strong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just more so feeding my power. And, and that's my everyday task now is to feed my power because there's going to be negativity. There's going to be trials. There's going to be tribulations. There's going to be challenges. But within that, I have to take that power, use it to overcome it. But at the same time, after I overcome it, I have to go back and refuel, you know,
Yes. And pour into yourself
and pour
again.
into myself again, and pour into myself again, you know, whether it's that's through meditation, prayer, what have you, whatever yours is, crocheting, whatever it is that gives you power, you find that niche
Yes.
and refuel yourself.
Yes.
because that battle, that next challenge is coming, and you have to prepare yourself for that.
Yes. And
Yes.
you know what? I think that that's a great segue to this next question. Is there anything else that you would like to share, whether it be a message or anything, with the people, the viewers that are listening, or people that may be experiencing obstacles themselves, challenges, maybe living authentically?
Oh, yes, of course. Just know that you are truly, this sounds cliche, but you're truly not alone. You know, talk to your family, your friends, a counselor, in the coffee shop, strike up a conversation with a stranger. You know, we're all here in this world together. We're all here to be the best we can be and make the world a beautiful place that it was intended to be from the beginning. You know, and with that being said, just know that you are all you have. At the end of the day, when you wake up, it's you. When you go to bed, it's you. Throughout the day, it's you. So take care of you. Love yourself. Get to love yourself. Talk to yourself. People always say, oh, what, you're talking to yourself? Yes, I am. There's moments in the day when I have to tell myself, Donaldo, you know what? You are loved.
Yes.
And you are the best. You are everything. You have to talk to yourself. Don't be afraid of that. Pray over yourself for your health, for your well-being, for your sanity. And with that, there's moments in your weak time, don't give up. There's moments that you just want to say, I just want life to be over with. I can't take it anymore. No, you're that light in this life that we all need to make the world brighter. And you can't dim your light. And no one has that authority to dim your light. So with that, I just say, just go forth in life. Be the best you can be. Love yourself. Truly find the passion that's in you, that fuels you. And feed off of that passion. It's yours. It's given to you. And share that love with others. Just share the love, a smile, a hello, you're beautiful, you look great today, anything. Because you don't know what that person next to you is going through. Because they're going through something. They're just not speaking on it.
Yes.
So that's my word of the day.
Thank you so much. That is perfect. That is so perfect. Your light shines through your smile, through everything that you're saying. Thank you for showing up as your authentic self and being a great representation of the LGBTQ community now, every day, and especially during Pride Month. I appreciate you sharing how you've been able to discover your power, and kudos to you to all of your successes. Thank you for joining us today.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate you.